Hey everybody, Captain Algebra here, back with another Top 3 Tuesday in response to Michael B. the Game Genie's video. It's been quite a few weeks since I did a Top 3 Tuesday. Some I just didn't really have anything to add to the conversation. One, I was in Florida for spring break, and so I didn't feel like doing one there. Plus I didn't have my editing software and stuff, or my game capture device. And then last week he didn't do one. So he's back this week, and I'm just going to read this title because it's a long one. And so it's the top 3 Game Boy games that have a standalone entry in a classic series. Okay, so we're looking at classic video game series that they only had one game for the Game Boy. Okay, so we'll start out with my number 3, Donkey Kong. Now, yes, there's Donkey Kong Lands and Donkey Kong Countries on the Game Boy. But I consider those kind of different series. You know, they're very different from just your traditional Donkey Kong. So this game starts just like Donkey Kong in the arcade. You've got your 4 basic levels. You're climbing up them, trying to save the princess. And then you win. You beat the 4 levels. You're done. Donkey Kong falls on his head, and you feel good. And then he gets up, crashes knocks down the bridge that's connecting the top layer. Grabs the princess and takes off. And then there's a cutscene that starts you off, and there's actually over 100 levels in this game. I think there's 9 worlds after that initial 4-stage level. And then so how they work is there's 3 stages, and then there'll be a boss battle. And generally there's like 2 or 3 sections, maybe 4 in some of the worlds. And so after, like I said, the 4th one is always going to be a boss battle, and then the last one of the world is going to be a battle where you don't just have to climb up; you actually have to attack Donkey Kong, like throwing barrels at him. So you know, it adds some variety. And what's kind of cool, they've just added some things to the game. There's switches you can get that change, that add bridges or walls, so you can trap enemies, or you have to open them to get to the key. And the key opens the door for each level, so you can chase Donkey Kong. There's also little squares you can get that have ladders or bridges that you can create, but they're only available for a little bit of time. Another really cool thing is that you can, when you get the hammer, you know, normally you couldn't climb up ladders, but you can actually throw it in the air, climb up the ladder, grab it again, and then keep using it, which is really nice and comes in handy with some of the puzzles later on. The cutscenes following every 4 levels are pretty cool. It shows Mario chasing Donkey Kong, and Donkey Kong will maybe push a lever that makes the bridge go away, and then so Mario pushes the other lever and it goes back so you can continue chasing him. And so that lets you know some of the new stuff you'll be doing in those levels. And there are some bonus gains to get extra lives, and so in each level there's 3 pickups that you can get. And if you get all 3, you'll do either like a slot machine game or a roulette game. They can get lives, like 1 to 3 lives generally. So it's pretty easy to get a lot of lives early on. You see my gameplay, I have 99 pretty much the whole time, but this is after I've gone through an entire playthrough and I'm going back through. So it's a lot of fun. It's just a little bit different than your classic Donkey Kong on the in the arcade or on the NES. So it's a lot of fun. The second game would be one of my favorite games as a kid. Very short, very easy, but a lot of fun, and that would be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Fall of the Foot Clan. So this is your basic hack and slash turtle game. Like I said before, it's very short. There's only 5 levels. Now each level does have certain sections to it, but you get through them pretty quickly. Every enemy is very easy. It's all one-hit kills except for the boss. The only one that's not is Roadkill Rodney, which you see later on in like the Technodrome. And that requires 2 hits unless you do a jumping kick, which then only takes 1. The bosses are your typical bosses from a turtle game. You got Rocksteady Bebop, Baxter Stockman, Shredder, and Krang. The only thing that I complain about is they put Krang as the last boss and Shredder before him. I feel like Shredder should go at the last one. You pick up pizza for health like normal ones. You can get a pizza slice, which I believe gets you 2 health back. And then there's a full pizza, which I think is 5. And then similar to Donkey Kong, there are bonus games that you can get extra health back and stuff. And so there's 3 types, and they're just kind of random. You got to find them. Sometimes you got to destroy a barrel, and they'll in the space that it was. It's a bonus game. Sometimes you got to jump up into a nook and cranny and find a spot. But there's 3 of them. One of them's like a shooter, where it's kind of like you're shooting clay pigeons, and you have to hit a certain amount out of the ones that they shoot out. It's pretty easy to get 100%. Then there's a guess my number, where you have 10 choices, and it's between 0 and $9.99. And so you enter a number, and it tells you if your number is too big or too small, and then you work your way through it. Again, it's not too difficult to figure out in 10 guesses. And then one where you've got a bunch of little like ninja stars on the screen, and you're battling Krang, and you have to leave 1 remaining to win. And so there's, I think, 3 rows of them, and you can take as many as you want from each row, but you can't go down to another row. So if you want to, you could take all like 7 in the first row, and then Krang can go to the next one. But again, it's pretty easy to beat him. So really fun hack and slash. I know there's another Turtles game on the Game Boy, Turtles 2 Back from the Sewers, but it's very different from this one. So I count that as a standalone game. And then my number 1 game, probably one of my favorite Game Boy games from all time. I had it as a kid. Never got very far in it. I would just get bored very easily. But then I really wanted it when I started collecting games again, and so I found it. And I actually have 2 copies right now. I'm trying to get rid of one of them. But that would be Metroid 2, Return of Samus. So the big problem with Metroid games is I really enjoy them, but I struggle with them because of the non-linear and the exploring so much. But what's nice about this one is it is more linear than the other ones. There's certain places you just can't go because of acid. And then when the acid goes away, you know where you can go in the next. So Metroid follows similar path of the other Metroid games. But this one you're sent to planet SR38, the Metroid homeworld, and got to try and destroy the Metroids. And so you go around. There's 39 Metroids you have to beat, and there's a little counter in the bottom of the screen on the right-hand corner. And each time you beat it, it goes down 1. So it starts off with the Metroids are the alpha version. They're very easy. But then there's 3 other ones as you go. We've got Gamma, Zeta, and then finally the Omega, which is the final one that you've got to fight. And so every time you beat all the Metroids in a certain area, there's this big rumbling that happens. And then that's your cue to know that there's some acid that went down. And so you can finally access other parts of the game. And like I said, it's pretty linear in that way, is that it really only opens up 1 section at a time. Still got to find your energy tanks and your missile power-ups and stuff like that. And you got your normal power-ups. You got your ice beam, your wave beam, your screw attack, your space jump, that kind of stuff. A couple things that I really like about this game is they added a spider ball, which allows you to crawl up on all the walls, which is really nice. And then you can also get the jump ball, which I don't remember if that one, or the spring ball, sorry. I don't remember if that one's in the other ones, but it allows you when you're in ball form to just jump, so you don't have to rely on bomb jumps to get up into certain places when you're morph ball. So there you go. My top 3 Game Boy games that had a standalone entry in a classic series. So yeah, there you go. A lot of fun games. If you haven't tried them, I really suggest you do. Link's Awakening was another one that was a possibility, but I know 2 people already did that, including Michael B. So I want to go with something different. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully there'll be another Top 3 Tuesday next week. Make sure you check out Michael B's original video. It's great as always. And check out on Facebook, Michael B the Game Genie, because he posts all the different video responses that people put. Alright, so until next time, this is Captain Algebra, signing off.